everyone, very good evening on behalf of whole LeDroit India team. Am I audible to you all? Can I just have your any reaction that I'm clearly audible? You can reply the same in the chat box so that I can start with the session today. Any reactions from your end? Okay. All right. So I believe that I'm clearly audible to you. Thank you so much for confirming that. So welcome to this session of banking law and contracts. Today in the session we are going to understand about how to create a career in banking sector, what are its advantage, how many types of career opportunities are there in banking sector. That's what we are going to understand today, and also the importance of contracts in banking law. Okay, so I'll be just quickly sharing my screen, and we every Sunday go live on our YouTube channel. So make sure that you have subscribed to our channel and liked it for more such contents. If you have any other suggestion for us on any topic you would like us to cover on, then do let us know in the chat box. We'll surely try to cover the same. We have also conducted several sessions on contracts used in various industries. You can check the same on our YouTube channel, where we have covered what are different type of contracts used in real estate sector, IT industry, then media and entertainment industry. You can check out that as well. In our each video we cover how you can create your career in specific field. Let's say you want to create your career in IT sector, then what are the skills required to create a career in IT, how you can create your career in corporate sector. All the topics we cover in our YouTube channels. Okay, so make sure that you're also checking out our other videos as well. With regard to today's video, we'll be understanding about how you can create your career in banking law. So do let me know from where you are joining and what you are doing currently, whether you are a law student, whether you are a professional. Accordingly, I'll be able to explain things to you. So I hope so far the language is understandable. Like it's okay if I continue in English, right? If anyone wants me to explain things in Hindi as well, that's also fine. Just let me know. Okay. Now give me a moment. I'll be sharing my screen, then we'll start with the session. Okay. I don't know. I'm just facing some issues with the presentation. So not used to going live on YouTube and sharing. Just give me a moment. I'll be just quickly resolving this. Um, okay. In the meantime, do let me know what other suggestions you have, on which topic you would like us to go live on. So we'll try to cover that next. But our upcoming next topic for YouTube is NPAs, okay, non-performing assets, on which we'll be going live on next Sunday, where we'll be covering what are non-performing assets, what are its importance, and all the things. So that is also going to be highly helpful for you. Okay, I believe I'll be able to check the PPT now. Perfect. All right, sharing my screen. Can I have your confirmation? See the PPT on your screen right now? Okay. All right. So, our topic for today is banking law and contracts, and we'll be covering in brief about NPAs as well. Okay. But the major topics that we are going to discuss in today's session is going to be the importance of banking law, how you can create your career in banking sector. So, what usually people think that law is divided into litigation and corporate, but there is a lot of different career aspects in your law as well. There are private opportunities as well as government opportunities that for which you can apply for. The major drawback for law students are that mostly we all are first generation lawyers. Maximum number of students these days are first generation lawyers, and they don't have anyone to guide them. They are not aware of actual career opportunities they have. So our major motive of today's session is to make you aware of these opportunities. So if you are right now in your law college, from this time you can start preparing for these career opportunities, and by the time you graduate, you will be ready for the job you want to apply for or for the position you wanted to get in for. Okay, so let's understand first with very basics what is banking law. So banking law is a law that governs functioning of the banks and financial institutions in India. Banks, when I'm saying, it covers all types of your banks, your SBI, ICIC Bank, HDFC, and all the types of private and public banks. Both are governed by different type of banking laws. And of course we know that we have RBI as well, right? Reserve Bank of India. So for all these we have different type of laws that are governing how these banks are required to function. Why do we have separate laws for banking? Because they are directly dealing with the public of India, and we don't have any separate regularization or laws for these sectors. In that situation, the financial position of the public will be at high risk. So banking law is one of the important laws in India that lawyers should be aware of, and there's huge scope in this particular sector. Okay, now with regard to financial institutions, with the advancement of technology, the financial institutions are just not now limited to limited to traditional methods of doing business. We have different financial institutions, like even your UPI that you are using, that is also covered under now banking regulations as well. Why? Because they are also dealing with the bank accounts of the people. So with banking we have also covered fintech, right? That is financial technology. So we have fintech laws as well. There are different types of laws that have come. Financial institutions, if I have to define, financial institutions are the institutions that have specialization in borrowing or lending money. Let's understand about banking sector right now. There are different type of financial sectors. One is banking. When I'm saying banking, what is the purpose of bank? To give money, to take deposits, to lend money and all, right? With progress of time, the functions of banks also increased. Now banks are also providing you home loan, your education loan, as well as it is financing businesses as well, funding startups, and as well doing the traditional methods of depositing money, providing you recurring deposits, fixed deposits, and all these things. These are the functions of bank. Now what are the functions of financial institutions? There are separate financial institutions, as in separate financial companies, that are created with the specific purpose of lending money or guiding companies on how to manage their funds as well. So it's just not limited to giving money or lending money or making profits out of it. Now banks also tell you how to invest your money, how to do investment, where you can keep your investment, for how long you need to keep it, and all the things, right? So there are different financial institutions who guide you on where you can invest your money, how to utilize your money and secure it, and as well as what will be the best methods through which you can get outputs. So there are also institutions that will guide you if your company is getting bankrupt. They'll guide you how you can utilize your resources to get out of that bankruptcy thing. So you can understand that it is just not the traditional method of depositing and doing fixed deposits. Now it has increased so much that now at your tips you are doing banking functions by sending money on day to day basis. right? So banking law is just not limited to banking sector, it has also got combined with your fintech. Okay, fintech is financial technology. So in India, we have different laws that are governing banking law. That is your banking regulation act. Then we have RBI act, SURFACE act, negotiable instruments act, and there are several bankruptcy, insolvency and bankruptcy code. Then fintech laws are also there. So like this, we have several sets of laws and regularizations that have been passed in order to control the functioning of banks and financial institutions in India. Together, we term it as banking law. So, this was the meaning of banking law. What do we call banking law? Okay. In case you're not understanding anything, do let me know. I'll try to re explain things to you. Now, let's understand about your why banking law is important. Now the purpose of banking law, as I said, that the functionality of banks have increased, so it's just not limited to your traditional methods. Now the basic purpose, of course, the laws are going to serve, that is protecting the depositors money, helping them with their finances, regulates lending and recovery, prevents fraud and misuse of funds. Now if you'll notice, like if we are going online, banks also have to make sure that your money is secure. How banks are making sure that your money is secure? Traditional way was simple, that they used to have locker rooms, they used to be having security guards, later we added security cameras as well. But now there are stricter regularizations, there are stringent laws to make sure that your money is secured. So now banks also have to send you proper notification on your phone saying that your money has been debited, credited, you should be informed about it. There are two-way authentication processes through which you can make sure that the transaction you are doing is correct. You have to change your online password on your net banking. There are several net banking procedures as well. So banks are just not required to do the traditional method. Because we are going online, a lot of laws have also come over here. So if I'm saying banking law, it's just not about banking. As a lawyer, there are several other laws you should be aware of. So if you are someone who is interested in creating your career in banking sector, you should be aware of banking law plus fintech laws as well, plus data protection laws as well in today's world, and of course laws related to cyber crime too, because everything is now online. So this session is going to be helpful for CS students, lawyer students as well. Now what are the roles you can expect after having this knowledge? When I'm saying banking lawyer, it's just not limited to a lawyer who's working in bank. There are huge roles which you can apply for in banking sector. There are n number of roles, I'm saying, okay, that we are going to discuss towards the end. So stay tuned for that, because we are going to cover different type of roles you can apply for in banking sector, in government job as well as in private job. Okay. Now the purpose of this particular session was also to cover about banking related contracts, what role contracts are playing in banking sector. Now if you'll understand NI Act, when I'm saying, it's easily understandable that banking lawyers are required to deal with matters related to negotiable instruments act. What it is, that is basically your dishonor for check notice cases, right? That is what you have to deal with when I'm saying NI Act. Now, there's much more duty of a banking lawyer. They also have to deal with loan related matters. They also have to deal with mortgage related matters. What if the person is not paying their debt? In that scenario, what you're going to do? So there are different debt recovery tribunals set up in India to recover the debts, like from the people who are not paying. So it's a two-way thing. Two laws that are over here. One, that is making sure the banks are functioning properly, right? That is one law. Second, making sure that the people are also following the norms of the bank, they are not doing any fraudulent activity, right? Because where money is involved, both the parties can do things. How they are doing things? First is, let's understand from bank perspective what what wrong banks can do. these are big institutions, but there are also private banks, right? So we have to make sure that everyone is complying with law. When there's a decrease in the repo rate, when the rates are decreased, we have to make sure that the banks are also following that, and they are not charging their customers more interest. What if the interest of the loan passed in the this thing budget is 8% and your bank is charging you 10%, irrespective of the rate has decreased? In that scenario, your rights are being infringed, right? So we need to make sure that the banks are also following norms. On the second hand, how customers are following the norms and everything? We are binding customers by way of contracts. So contracts also play a huge role in overall banking sector as well. Contracts are just not limited to your companies, but also they are used in banking sectors and financial institutions, because everything is run by way of contracts. So you as a lawyer should be aware of how to draft a contract as well. So importance of contracts in banking sector: they make sure that your terms are clearly defined, your repayment terms, your interest rates, what will happen in case the customer fails to make the payment on time, what will be the remedies in that scenario. All these things are covered under your contracts. There are several type of contracts used in banks, such as your loan agreements, mortgage, hypothecation deeds, guarantees, indemnity bonds, and so many more contracts that are used in banks on day-to-day basis. So by this, we have gotten an understanding that there will be several roles. Role will be with regard to a lawyer who is aware of how to draft contracts, how to vet contracts in banking industry. One is very simple, that there should be a litigation lawyer who is aware of how the banking procedure takes place in court. What are the NI Act things, laws related to your dishonor of a check? What is the step by step process of filing for recovery? One lawyer should be aware of litigation process. Secondly, a lawyer who is aware of how to draft a contract related to banking matters, because you need to be very sure that you are drafting watertight contracts. Reason is that based on your contracts, bank will be able to file a case against the customer in case there's any default in payment. So for this, how you can make sure that the documents are good and everything is good? You are drafting a contract very well. If you want to learn contract drafting, you can join our upcoming live course on contract drafting, where you'll be learning about everything: boilerplate clauses, NDAs, master service agreements, and all the contracts, and how you can draft a contract yourself. There will be practical assignments where you'll be drafting a contract and getting face to face feedback on it. Next skill that you should be aware of when you want to create your career in banking sector is due diligence and compliance. So this is another role for which lawyers are hired in banking sector, to do due diligence. What it is, it means to cross check the details, to properly check and verify the details of the borrowers and their creditability. So if you have ever applied for any loan or ever noticed that banks do KYC, right? They check, they authenticate your Aadhaar card, they ask you for your PAN card and all the things. Who is checking these things? Who is checking your details before a loan is passed? All these details are checked by lawyers only. They cross check that your profile is creditable, your credit score is good. They cross check the details provided by you, so that the bank is properly complied with the laws, as well as we are not making any mistakes while providing you any loan. How do you think that banks ended up giving so much loan to Vijay Mallya and others? These all were because of lack of due diligence. If a bank fails to properly do a background check and before passing any loan, it will be a huge loss to them only. That's the reason they also hired lawyers who have knowledge about due diligence and compliances. So you can also add on the skill of due diligence. You can check out our course on due diligence. That's just a 100 rupee course on our website. You can check out that as well. You'll be provided with a due diligence checklist. If you want to learn more about this, you can also check out our course on mergers and acquisitions, where we cover everything about how like mergers and acquisition deals take place, how to do due diligence, how to check financial reports and all. Okay. Now let's come to our another topic, that is what is non-performing assets, that is also known as NPA, if you have heard of it. NPAs come into a situation when bank fails to get recovery from the debt they have given. So if a bank has lended you money and you have got insolvent, or let's say you are not paying them anymore, you paid one or two EMIs, thereafter you vanished, you're not paying any money, you're not replying to the bank or saying anything. In that scenario, if bank does not hear anything from you for a period more than 90 days, you become NPA for the bank. Why the customers are known as assets to the bank? You are the asset of the bank because you are generating revenue for them. How banks are earning revenue? They are giving you the loan, and through that loan, they are earning profits by way of interests. And if the customer stops paying them interest, they are not performing well, right? So if this continues for a period of 90 days or more, you become a non-performing asset that is not performing and that is not useful at all. So in this scenario, bank tries to do several methods. They might be sending you dhamkis, they might be sending people at you, they will be for sure filing a case against you. So in order to recover that money, so all these steps are being taken by lawyer only. There is a lawyer who is sending legal notice, there is a lawyer who is preparing a draft, right, and a lawyer who is filing a case against you. So all these things are also done by lawyer. So there's a separate non-performing department in the bank who is taking care of all these things. Lawyers are also required over here. So again, there will be two demands of lawyers. One lawyer who is filing a case on behalf of the bank, another lawyer who is fighting against the bank. So for this as well, you should be aware of banking law, right? Because how the case will be analyzed, let's say that you had taken a loan of 10 lakh rupees from bank and the interest rate was flexible or floating rate. When I'm saying flexible or floating rate, it means like based on the government regularization, whenever any new rule is passed, your interest rate will be changing based on the new updates. So if at the time you had taken any loan of 10 lakh and the interest rate over there was 10%, okay, 10% on 10 lakh rupees. Now, because of the change in government norms, the interest rate has been now decreased to your 8%, and the bank is still charging you based on that 10%. It is a failure on part of the bank, right? And because of this increased interest, you are not able to pay. Bank could have cooperated with you that okay, pay the new interest that they should have done, but they did not decrease your interest rate. They are charging you at 10% only, because of which you are not able to pay now anymore. So in this situation, if they send a notice to your end saying that you recover the money, they will be sending a notice through their lawyer. Your lawyer can back up you saying that it was bank's fault, they did not reduce the rate, they did not cooperate with you, how they can make it easier for you to pay the money, right? So this way things are considered while we are playing the role of a lawyer in your banking sector. So these were the basic examples of like how contracts play a role in banking sector. You need to draft your contracts very well, you need to be very thorough with due diligence and compliances. So far let's understand what are the roles you can expect in banking sector. I'll be sharing a word file with you, okay, with along with the amount of salary you can expect when joining for these roles. So there are different roles in banking sector from government to private sector. Okay, first is the role of legal officer. That this you can apply for public sector undertakings or public banks, that is your SBI and all, right? Over there, there's a separate exam that you need to clear in order to become a law officer. Okay, IBPO is the exam that you need to clear in order to become a law officer. Once you clear the exam, you'll be getting a job in the bank, in any of the bank that has openings with them in any of the cities and so. And then you can directly start earning somewhere in between 6 to 10 LPA. Okay, and for this you need to be aware of all the type of banking laws. You can start preparing for these particular examinations right from your law college. And even between, like, you need to have your law degree as well. So once you clear your law degree, and also have got your license, you will be able to apply for these exams and get into these roles. This is one thing. You can also get into banking sector without giving any of the government exams as well. How? That is by way of applying for positions in private banks. There are two types of banks: public banks and private banks. So private banks can also have opening with them where you don't have to give any examination. But of course, if you have given examination, that would be good. But if you haven't given, then still you can apply for these positions. These will be your in-house counsel or legal counsel positions, where you need to be aware of litigation. So you should be aware of how to draft legal notices, how to like draft a civil suits proceeding, how to draft a proper affidavit, and all these things. All the litigation things you should be aware of. Secondly, you should also be aware of banking related laws. You should be having knowledge about NI Act, especially what is the process of dishonor for check notice, overall step by step things. You should be aware of that. The role of in-house counsel will be to guide banks to take action on behalf of the bank, to send legal notices and everything. Okay. Next is banking litigation and recovery lawyer. These lawyers are actually practicing in courts. These are practicing advocates, but they are practicing, or let's say being retained by banks. So what banks do, they have special contacts with advocates who are working in court. They retain them, saying that whenever any case arises, I'm going to give it to you, you will handle it on my behalf. So in this scenario, this litigant is going to handle the bank related matters in court. They are going to like send legal notices, do title search of the property. Title search is also playing a role over here. So when there's a, let's say when someone has mortgaged their property to bank, or when you are taking a home loan, bank also needs to make sure that the property on which they're giving you loan is actually a registered property. The background is clear. There are no, setbacks or anything. Because eventually, if you fail to repay to the bank, how bank will be able to recover the money? Bank will be able to recover the money by selling that property. And in case the property was, let's say, not constructed at a good area, or that property was already being sold to two three more people as well, and because bank failed to do a proper compliance and due diligence, now it is at loss. They are not able to recover the money, right? This thing actually happened in USA as well. Over there, because of the lack of banking related laws, banks ended up giving loan to the same property. So what people started doing, on one property they started taking 3 4 loans from different banks, and banks were not aware of it, that this property has already been mortgaged to some other bank, and they were paying, they were giving loan on the same property. So you should be aware of banking laws. In You should also be aware of real estate laws as well, in order to create a career in banking sector. So you should be aware of how to do title search, how to check property, and everything, due diligence and all the things. So for this, you can also check out our course on real estate agreement drafting, where you'll be learning how to do title search of property. And this course is starting from 20th December. Next is due diligence and legal audit. Now there's an audit as well done. Why audit is taking place? Because we are dealing with finances. So there's a need of auditor or legal compliance officer who is going to check that bank is following all the government norms and laws as well. Reason is, you are dealing with finances, so how you are keeping a track of things, whether you are keeping the money of the people safe, fixed deposits, if you're doing, are you doing any fraudulent activities over there or not, all these things. Okay. Then regulatory advisors, there are several um, lawyers who are hired for the purpose of giving guidance. These are financial lawyers as well, who have knowledge about income tax, like from where you can save your tax. So there are several schemes provided by banks with regard to your early retirement plans, pension plans, and also, right, how these plans are created. These are created because someone is aware of laws related to income tax, laws related to pensions and everything. And these all are being done by lawyer only, and these are private jobs for which openings keep on coming under private banks. Next is contract drafting. So for this, in-house counsel bank or legal associate positions will be open with banks, where you should be aware of how to draft contracts. Insolvency and bankruptcy, these are special category of lawyers who are aware of how to deal with bankruptcy situation. So I'll explain it to you in very brief. Uh, if a company that has taken any loan, and if a company is taking loan, of course the loan amount is going to be very big, right? It's going to be huge. Now, if that particular company directly says that I don't want to pay or I'm not able to pay, it will become a issue for the bank. So in this scenario, what bank will try to do? Bank will try to say that okay, if you are not able to pay, let me reduce the amount. Pay me at least half of it. Pay me without the interest. At least pay me the principal sum that I have given to you. They'll try to do several calculations so that some amount is recovered from that company. And in order to get this money, bank is going to provide the company with several suggestions, like you can sell out your these assets, and after that you can sell pay off to these lenders, and then whatever you're getting you can give it to me. So for all these plannings, again you need a lawyer. Lastly, as I said, that banks are now functioning virtually as well. So we have net banking as well, we are doing UPIs and banking transactions. So we are also required to be aware of fintech laws, financial technology laws, and digital banking laws, right? So for this, there are lawyers who have knowledge about data protection, cyber law, as well as your fintechs and everything. So you can apply for these positions as well. These openings are also open with bank. Okay. Now with that, we have come to an end of like today's session. If you are interested and want to create your career in banking sector, we have an upcoming course on banking law. The fees is just rupees 1000, and in the course you are going to learn about different type of banking related laws, what are the legal aspects of banking operations, what are indemnity bonds, negotiable instruments act, surfacy act, types of securities, then banking ombudsman act, and all these things, DRT act, all these laws will be covered in this particular course. It's a practical course. You'll be learning about how to draft a legal notice as well, and the course is going to be conducted by advocate Samata Joshi. She's a banking lawyer with 8 plus years of experience, and she'll be the one conducting the course. The timings are going to be 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. Okay, so I hope this session was helpful for you all. If you liked the session, do stay tuned for with us. You can check out our other videos as well. We have a session on ADR as well. Our next session is going to be about NPA, that is non-performing assets. So for that, make sure that you have liked, shared, and subscribed to our channel. Stay tuned for more. You can drop us your suggestions in the chat box, and make sure that you are there in a WhatsApp group. Over there, we are going to share a link with you where you'll be getting this draft that I shared with you now about different career aspects in banking sector. So I'll be sharing a Word file with you in our WhatsApp group. So stay tuned with LeDroit India for more. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you all on next Sunday at same timing. Thank you.